Hello and welcome all to Mushonomics. This is our third lecture on complete syllabus of economy for UPSC Prelims and Mains 2025. So we will continue with our first module only, microeconomics. We will be dealing with two topics today, opportunity cost and production possibility curve PPC. So let's begin our discussion. First, we will be starting our discussion with concept of opportunity cost. Concept of opportunity cost. Okay. So what is opportunity cost? Let's discuss. The cost of sacrificing the next best or second best alternative is called as opportunity cost. What do we mean by this? So let's take an example. This is a person called Musharraf. He is having 3 career opportunities. For example, if he work as a teacher, he will get 20 rupees per hour. If he work as an office assistant, he will get 16 rupees per hour. And if he work as a manual labor, he will be getting 14 rupees per hour. Right? So this is an example. Now, what is the second best? For example, if Musharraf is a rational person, he will be selecting teacher as his career. We are not attaching other things. For example, the kind of satisfaction, the kind of value addition. We are taking only monetary terms. So in monetary terms, if he is a rational, then he will be selecting teacher as a career, right? So what will be the opportunity cost? The next best or the second best alternative. So if he is choosing teacher, then he is sacrificing what? 16 rupees per hour, that is office assistant. So this is the opportunity cost. So if choosing to be a teacher, then sacrificed what? Sacrificed office assistant. Right? Office assistant, that is 16 rupees per hour. Also, he has sacrificed manual labor. He has sacrificed both office assistant as well as manual labor. Rupees 14 per hour. But the second best was what? Office assistant. So that's why the opportunity cost. So opportunity cost of teaching will be what? Rupees 16 per hour. Right? What do we mean by this? What is the utility of this? So we have understood the sacrificing the second best opportunity or the second best alternative that the person is having. But what is the USP of it? So what we have to understand here is Musharraf will remain in teaching as long as teaching pays anything above rupees 16 per hour, because rupees 16 per hour is what? His opportunity cost. So he will remain in teaching till the time he is getting anything above rupees 16 per hour. At 16 rupees per hour, he will be indifferent. Indifferent means maybe he will remain in teaching, or he will work as an office assistant. But if teaching is paying anything below rupees 16 per hour, then he will choose office assistant. right? So this is the utility of understanding this concept, that is opportunity cost. I guess we have understood this. We can move forward. Now we have to take the new topic. This is we will utilize this concept little later, that is marginal opportunity cost, and other places also. But now for as of now, we will be moving to the next concept, and the next concept is production possibility curve. Production possibility curve, PPC, also called as production possibility frontier. Production possibility frontier, PPF. Frontier means boundary. Frontier means boundary. Let's see what exactly it is. Fine. So first we will try to understand what is PPC. PPC represents all possible combinations of two commodities. Okay, first I will write and explain. PPC represents all possible combinations of two commodities that an economy can produce after using all its resources and with a given technology. What do we mean by this? First I will give you one clarification. See, this two commodities means what? Economy produces n number of commodities, right? But why we are taking two commodities example? Because for comparison and simple comparison, as well as we can draw two-dimensional graph on the paper. That's why we are taking two commodities. Otherwise economy produces n number of commodities, right? So we are not talking about n number of commodities. We cannot draw the graph of it. That's why we are taking two commodities only. Fine. Okay, let's understand this definition. It represents all possible combinations of commodities that an economy can produce after using all its resources. So all resources must be utilized with a given technology. That means technology remaining constant. Technology is remaining constant, right? Okay, then I will give you an example. I will draw a table, and with the help of table we will try to understand what exactly it is. Fine. Let's make a table then. Suppose these are inputs, and fine, these are inputs. This is capital. This is output that we can take, right? Okay, fine, better. Good. Let's see. This is the column for inputs. This is capital. So input. So what we make capital here only. This is capital, right? And here this we will take clothes, raw materials. So clothes. Here we will take raw material for machines, right? And here we will talk about output. So how much clothes we have produced, production. Here we are talking about raw materials, right? And here we are talking about output. So capital, clothes, machines, Then we are having here the column for marginal opportunity cost. Marginal opportunity cost that we'll talk about. Okay. Okay, let's take an example. Like we are taking 100 units of this raw material and 0 units of machines raw material. We are taking capital as constant, maybe 1 unit, so we are making it constant 1 unit. Okay, we will change inputs and we will see what is the impact on output, right? And this is marginal opportunity cost that we are discussing in a while. So for example, for 100 input of clothes raw material and 0 input of machine, what I am getting is here, what I am getting is, for example, 50 clothes and 0 machines. So I am using 100 labors in clothes for manufacturing of clothes, and I am getting how much clothes? 50, right? I am getting how much cloth? 50. And I am not utilizing any labor for machine, so I am getting 0 machine as an output, right? I hope it is making sense. Now we are decreasing labor from clothes, and we are diverting labor for machines. So we have diverted 20 labors to the machine. What is the effect on output? See, suppose this clothes has declined to 40, clothes have declined to 40 and to produce 1 machine. So we are changing inputs here, we are witnessing the impact on output. So the cloth output has declined, and one machine we are able to produce, right? Suppose we are changing this again, and to produce more machines. So to produce 2 machines, when we have diverted our inputs towards machine, we are only able to produce 25 clothes. And when we are producing third unit of machine, we are not able to produce any clothes, that is 0. We are not able to produce any cloth, that is 0. So what has happened here is, when we are producing only clothes, we are producing 50 clothes, right? When we are producing only machine, no clothes, then we are able to produce 3 machines. Then what is marginal opportunity cost? See, here we cannot calculate, but here we cannot calculate because we are not producing second commodity. What we have written, the definition of PPC is represents all possible combinations of 2 commodities, but here that is only 1 commodity, 0, right? So no marginal opportunity cost. To produce 1 extra unit, of machine, how much clothes we have sacrificed? 10 clothes. How much clothes we have sacrificed? 10 clothes, right? To produce 1 extra machine or 1 unit of machine, we have sacrificed 40 units of clothes. Now to produce 1 more unit of machine, what we have sacrificed? We have sacrificed 15 units of clothes. That 15 is our what? Marginal opportunity cost. If we are not producing this extra unit, then we are adding 15 more clothes or shirts, 15 more clothes in our output. But when we are producing 1 extra unit of machine, we are sacrificing this 15 clothes. That's why this 15 is what? Marginal opportunity cost. To produce 1 more extra, to put 1 more extra unit of machine, we are sacrificing how much clothes? 25 units of clothes. So this 25 is our marginal opportunity cost, right? I hope we have understood. We can go back and we can check the video again. Now we will discuss about marginal opportunity cost. What will be the definition? So marginal opportunity cost is nothing but marginal opportunity cost is nothing but amount of one commodity that needs to be sacrificed to produce an extra unit of another commodity. Or maybe we will not settle for one, so we will talk about to produce extra units of another commodity, right? So amount of one commodity that needs to be sacrificed, amount of one commodity, how much we are sacrificing here? 10 shirts to produce extra units of another commodity, right? So I hope it is clear. Now we will plot this on a graph, and that graph is known as PPC. So how we can plot this graph? Simple XY axis we will take. This is X axis, right? And this is Y axis. On Y axis we will take clothes. On X axis we will take machines. This is origin, right? The first point that we can see here is 50 clothes and 0 machines. So machine is 0, cloth is 50. 50 clothes and 0 machine, 50, 0, right? Next we see 40 clothes and 1 machines. For example, here 1, 2, 3. So now 40 clothes, 40 and 1. This is the next point, 40, 1, right? Now we see another point here. This point is 40. 25, 2. So 25, 2. This is our second point, 25, 2. Now we see the third point, that is 0, 3. So 0, 3, right? When we plot this, if we are plotting this curve, how this will come? You see, this diagram, this curve is known as what? This curve is known as PPC, production possibility curve, or production possibility frontier. Now we will discuss more about it. See, this marginal opportunity. Now there are a lot of things that we can discuss about this production possibility curve, but only few things are required as far as our exam is concerned. Only the knowledge about this concept is needed, otherwise there are much detail of it. So as you can see, this kind of curve that we have drawn, this is known as concave, because it is towards origin, right? It is towards origin, concave, towards origin. Now one more can be drawn like this. This is known as convex, opposite to the origin, convex, right? One more we can draw like this, straight line, right? So now what are these diagram means when we talk about concave, when we talk about convex, and when we talk about straight line? See, marginal opportunity cost is nothing but slope of PPC, that we can see here. The slope of PPC is what? Marginal opportunity cost. So marginal opportunity cost is nothing but what? Slope of PPC. If marginal opportunity cost is increasing, then we will be having concave PPC. If marginal opportunity cost is decreasing, marginal opportunity cost is decreasing, then we will be having convex PPC. And if marginal opportunity cost is constant, then we will be having straight PPC, straight line PPC. Okay, straight line PPC. I hope we understood this point. See, marginal opportunity cost is increasing here, 10 to 15, 15 to 25. So if opportunity cost is increasing, then concave PPC. If opportunity cost is decreasing, then convex PPC. And if marginal opportunity cost is constant, then the PPC curve will be the straight line, right? So I hope we have understood this. And all points, see what definition we have seen for marginal opportunity cost here, that PPC represents all possible combinations of two commodities that an economy can produce after using all its resources with a given technology. So these points that we can see, these all points on PPC, that is all points on PPC represents full and efficient utilization of resources. I hope we understood this point, because the definition says what? Using all its resources with a given technology. Now I will make this point more clear when I'll draw some other PPCs as well. Then you will be able to understand that what I mean by this point. Suppose I draw this diagram. I am drawing a production possibility curve, random production possibility curve, like this. Okay, so I have drawn this production possibility curve. I am naming some points here. For example, this point is C. This is a point outside the PPC. This is a point Z on the PPC, and this is the point K inside PPC. Then what do we mean by these points? So point C, when we talk about point C is non-attainable point. Why non-attainable? Because it is outside the PPC. We can produce only the commodities which are there on PPC, the maximum possible, right? But to produce above outside PPC, means the point which are non-attainable, which are outside PPC, we cannot produce it with given technology. So either technology needs to be improved, that we are talking about in a while. Now see, point C is non-attainable point. When we talk about point Z, point Z is nothing but what? Optimum utilization of resources. But when we talk about point K is what? Underutilization of resources. We have a lot of resources, but we are not able to utilize it optimally. So underutilization of resources, that is point point K. Now, for example, new technology is invented or new resources developed. If new resources, for example, you have found a new mine, so you can get new raw materials. So if new resources developed or technology improves, then what will happen? Then the production capacity will increase, right? If technology is changing, then what will happen is, if new technology has come up and the technology has been improved, then what will happen is the production capacity will increase. Production capacity will increase means what? Now if I was able to produce like this, if I was able to produce like this, for example, this was my point K, this was my point Z, and this was my point C. Because of improvement of technology, what will happen is I will be able to produce like this. I will be able to produce like this. This is the shift in PPC that is happening here. Shift in PPC. Shift in PPC. And this non-attainable point becomes attainable. Non-attainable point becomes attainable, right? But suppose a condition, if some destruction happened, natural calamities or something like that, if some destruction has happened, so if some destruction happened in economy, then what will happen? Suppose earlier it was like this curve was like this, right, where these points are like this, point K, point Z, and point C. Now what will happen is this curve will shift to this. This is what? Shifting. This is what? Shift in PPC towards origin. Shifting PPC towards origin, away from origin. Shift in PPC away from origin. This is shift in PPC towards origin. Shift in PPC towards origin. So now what will happen is point Z will also become non-attainable. Point Z will also become what? Non-attainable. So we have seen all these three conditions, like shift in PPC towards origin and away from origin. So what is the relevance we talk about? What is the relevance of PPC? What is the relevance of PPC? See, the relevance of PPC is nothing but PPC gives you what? Relevance or significance of PPC here is what? PPC gives you the maximum capacity of an economic system. Maximum capacity of an economic system that can be produced sustainably, for any distribution purpose, to understand the capacity of economy. Because what is happening is when we see the debates on giving freebies, etc., so what we can do sustainably, right? What we can distribute sustainably. So that is the relevance of what? PPC. We will discuss more as we about these freebies, etc., as we go deeper into the subject. Right now we can understand the relevance of PPC is this, that it talks about the maximum capacity of an economic system that can be produced sustainably for any distribution purposes, right? Now we have a question that has been asked in UPSC in 2018 exam, that has been asked in UPSC. Let's solve this question on the given knowledge, or whatever we have studied we can solve the question here. Okay, this is the question. Let's take this question above. Okay, so this is the question that has been asked in 2018 prelims question. Okay, if commodity is provided free to the public by the government, then what? These are your options. The opportunity cost is 0. The opportunity cost is ignored. The opportunity cost is transferred from the consumer of the product to the tax paying public. The opportunity cost is transferred from the consumer of the product to the government. Now see, the commodity is provided free to the public. Commodity is provided free to the public means what? There is a cost of it, but the cost is borne by the government right now. Okay, now see the see the options that are there, that are present. The opportunity cost is 0. No, because there is a cost, right? But the cost is not being paid by whom? Not being paid by the public who are giving, who are taking benefit of that commodity. The opportunity cost is ignored. No, the opportunity cost is transferred from the consumer of the product to the tax paying public, and the other option is transferred from the consumer of the product to the government. Now when we see here, provided free to the public by the government, we tend to choose this, that the this option, that transferred from the consumer of the product to the government. But since other option is also given, that from where government is having money, so the opportunity cost is transferred from the consumer of product to the tax paying public. To the tax paying public will be the answer, because the government is taking money from whom? Tax paying public only. So opportunity cost is transferred, the opportunity cost is transferred from the public or consumer who are taking benefit to the public who are paying taxes, right? Because opportunity cost is borne by the public, right? So this was the question that was asked on these topics that we have discussed here, right? So let's see, we will meet in the next class, and where we will be discussing the concept of demand and supply. So in next class we will be discussing concepts of demand and supply. Okay, you can raise your doubts. These are the numbers that has been given. This is the number that you can drop a message, you can call, and these are the Telegram and the Instagram pages. This is the YouTube channel where you are watching this video, right? So feel free to connect, and let's understand economy in a better manner. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.